Perfect. So we are recording this session. Hello, everyone. Very happy to have you here. We have 4 of our graduates with us to talk about their experience in Vatel, Los Angeles, and San Diego. I'm going to start with a short introduction about our program, and then we will ask our graduates to introduce themselves and give us more details about their experience when they were here for the program. And then we will complete this session with a Q&A. So it's going to be a great time for anyone to ask questions. And,
I'm Nathalie Pierre-Virovac, and I'm very happy to welcome you to this presentation
today and what was your career path since then. Okay, so I'm going to do a really brief introduction about Vatel because some of the people who are joining us may not know Vatel and the Vatel group. So it's important to know that Vatel represents 50 campuses all over the world. It's the largest hospitality business school in the world. And we have been recognized with many awards on being the best hospitality school worldwide. We have more than 9,000 students and over 35,000 alumni that are now working all over the world. The Vatel mission is really to train the next generation of managers and leaders for the hospitality industry. We want excellence for our students in the form of excellent academic programs and opportunities to grow, to travel. We want excellence from our students with their positive attitude. Wearing uniform is one of them, and having the this spirit of leaders. We offer a balance between academic and practical training, so that's really a huge force for the Vatel program and the original vision from the creator of Vatel, Mr. Sebon. So the program since bachelors are really balancing academic programs and training in hotels and restaurants. We are very keen on the international exposure. So the bachelor degree students, for example, must undertake an internship abroad. And we really encourage, all internship abroad. And the alumni are also scattered all over the world, and the alumni network allows the students and graduates to get in touch with these alumni and find work everywhere in the world. We have also a strong students association where the students can reach out and work on their career and many opportunities to that. So Vatel in Los Angeles and San Diego partners with Alliance International University. It's a great synergy, and really we are bringing the best of both worlds with Vatel and Alliance. Of course, Vatel with the strong recognition worldwide and this expertise in the hospitality management education. And then Alliance, who has several campuses in California, including San Diego and Los Angeles, but also San Francisco and other campuses. This university is accredited by WASC, so it's an accreditation by the Department of Education. It's the same kind of it is the same accreditation that universities like UCLA or USC have. So it's the highest accreditation you can have for a university in California. And what it means for the students, it means that with an accreditation like that, if they want to work anywhere else and have to file for visas, this accreditation make it really, solid for their application. So these are the campuses in Los Angeles and San Diego. Very nice buildings and a lot of green areas, and us graduates will probably tell us a little bit more about their experience on campus. What is great also about our association with Alliance is that our students are having a dual degree. after graduating with us. They have an MBA from Alliance and a master degree from Vatel. So that's really a plus also because, you have 2 degrees for the price of one. In a nutshell, the program is built with a 1-year academic program. During this year and academic, the students have the opportunity, it's optional, but most of them do. They have the opportunity to work part-time with an internship that we call CPT, Curricular Practical Training. So it's practical training that is directly linked to courses that they have at school. And then the second year, there is OPT, which is a work authorization that the students applied for at the end of the academic program, and that allows them to work full-time for up to 12 months. So here are some of the hotel chains and companies that we are working for. You have the Waldorf Astoria, the Peninsula, the Fairmont, the Park Hyatt, Sofitel, Four Seasons, the JW Marriott. 2 of our graduates work there and still work there actually. And while the students are having, are very concentrated on their work and preparing their future, they can also enjoy life since California is really not the worst destination to study. So between the surf, the beaches, the national parks, and housing is great because most of the time you can find really nice housing with swimming pool and jacuzzi. So without further ado, I'm really happy to present our graduates. I'm going to move that. We have Hortense, who studied in San Diego from 2016 to 18. Deepak, who studied in Los Angeles from 2016 and 2018. We have Andrea, also classmates of Deepak in Los Angeles from 2016 to 18. And Steve, who is currently in Los Angeles and who is finishing the program. So he graduated with the academic program and is still in Los Angeles doing his OPT. So his testimonial is going to be interesting for all, I'm assuming. So are we going to start with Hortense? Okay. And Hortense, can you hear me? Yes, hello. So Hortense, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. You did your CPT at the Found Hotel as night manager in San Diego. And then you did your OPT in Peninsula Beverly Hills as a room division assistant manager. So the question I want to start with you is, if you want to tell us where you're coming from before the program, and tell us how it was during the program and during your CPT and OPT very briefly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. So my name is Hortense. So before going to Vatel San Diego, I was actually studying for a luxury hotel business school in Paris. So it was everything under the American Accommodation and Lodging Association standards. So I got my bachelor's of science in Paris, and I decided to move to San Diego to Vatel School. So where I had 1 full year of classes and then 1 full year of cross training as an assistant manager. During the classes for the first year, so basically the first half was really dedicated to school and discovering San Diego. We were doing a bunch of visits in San Diego itself. We went to Los Angeles. We even went to some wineries in Mexico with the class. And then from the second part of the year, we were able to work, which was really helpful to actually pay at least my lodging, so my rent. That's where I found a hotel. It was the Found Hotel, so it was a 3-star hotel, but very conveniently located compared to where I used to live. So it was like 2 minutes away. And so I was a manager for 6 months. And then after the 6 month, we had to look for an internship for a year, where I had an opportunity to had an interview with the Peninsula Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. So that's where I moved over there. And it was an amazing experience. If you have any question.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Hortense. So now, thank you, Deepak, for being with us. Deepak, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and how you came to Vatel Los Angeles and what you did during the program.
Certainly, Natalie. Thank you so much. Good evening. Good morning, everybody. And glad to see you all here. Hortense, that was a lot of information from you. So it was great that we were a part of the course in San Diego. So, well, to give a brief, I did my bachelor's in hotel management from India in the year 2005. And since then, I've been working for premium hotels in India itself. So I reached hotel almost about 11 years of my professional experience, seeking that upper edge in my for my career path. So I personally met Natalie in the hotel office in Los Angeles at that time, and she guided me as to what would be the best options for me. So there was no other second choice. I went straight with hotel. I went back to India. I applied for my student visa, and I was approved since I'd already been to the US 2 times on my J1 visa. And once I came back to Vatel in September 2016, it has been an amazing journey. Excellent classmates, including Hortense herself in San Diego, and of course, Andrea from France. Excellent team members have been guiding us, having that international exposure from all these international students who are our team members, and then excellent faculty, excellent program coordinator, excellent staff who were knowing what they're doing. So at any point in time, you were not left behind saying that, oh, what happens if this does not, what is going to happen if we don't do this? So there was always a constant guidance. If you're investing so much of money into an international program, you need to make sure that the team which is working behind you and making this happen is well versed and has an hands-on experience. So that is what I found in Vatel. When we were in San Diego with the CIBU, California International Business University, it was amazing experience. Then when we moved to Los Angeles with Pacific States University, even a much better experience with the kind of faculties which we had there. And then once our first quarter was over, we got the opportunity to work for, to start with our CPT. So I was lucky enough to continue with Marriott Hotels, with whom I've almost spent 6 years of my career so far. And I was able to start with them as an assistant front office manager at the JW Marriott Santa Monica. And then by the end of the CPT program, the curriculum was such, it was so easy, all the practical knowledge and the theoretical knowledge which we were getting from the class and the hours which we are dedicated for the classroom sessions were just very, very, it was a very good coordination of everything. So at any point in time, it was not a burden for us. Oh, we have to complete the assignments and not focus on the work. But it was a combination of both. You can also work, you can give you 100% of the work. And moreover, you can also concentrate on your studies and complete that in a much better manner. So that worked out pretty well. And then we're lucky enough to have the OPT at the same hotel for me, where I was later promoted as an assistant director of front office. And then the company sent me out because the company liked my work, and I was fortunate to have a good team there. So because of the education from Vatel, then I was able to continue my path with the same hotel, and they sent me out to St. Martin in the Netherlands, where I manage now 2 properties in revenue management. So even though I'm presently sitting in a different part of the world, I still am able to manage 2 properties, one in Santa Monica and one in St. Martin. So that's what Vatel has brought to me, and I'm really thankful to that. So that's pretty much about me.
Thank you so much, Deepak. That's a great career that you're having, and we're gonna come back also to go deeper into your experience as well. Thank you. So
Thank you.
Our next guest and graduate is Andrea. Andrea, can you tell us about you?
Yes, hello everyone. So if I decided really, to take some time to a bit, I would say, promote Vatel Los Angeles is for one reason, because I just realized recently, how much it helped me to, I would say, to raise and to grow in my career. So to put a bit of perspective, I was coming from Vatel Nîmes, and I mean, it has been since the first year during my bachelor. I really wanted to go in Los Angeles. It was seen, you know, as a bit as a Graal, I would say, the trophy. Like if you start in Vatel in France, you may end up in Los Angeles. And I was thinking it could give me great exposure and I would say more knowledge about management and finance. So when I started in Vatel Los Angeles, what really I want to put on the first place is about education. Sorry, it's really about education because I see what I've learned during my master degrees. I've been really key to be successful right now in what I'm doing, because when we talk about, you know, finance, I'm thinking deeply about marketing. At that time was Dr. Jasso that I'm still using right now when I'm leading some strategies for the restaurant, or P&L review, all those things, you know, who are very essential as a leader in hospitality, that are really, you know, I would say well taught in Vatel Los Angeles, because there is this, compared to France, it's much more practical, and is, I would say, a bit less academic in some way. That, okay, this is what the tools that we give you that you will use during your career, you know, and if you want to grow. So I just want to point out that the education was very good, and I would really advise, if you are interested in Vatel Los Angeles, to take it very seriously, not only for the grades, but most importantly because you will use it later, and this is what, you know, make you unique within the market and the competition, to be honest. Also about the CPT and OPT, I was fortunate enough to be hired at that time at the JW Marriott Santa Monica as assistant food and beverage manager, and to end up, you know, during this process as assistant director of food and beverage. The key as well for I would say the professional experience that, you know, is allowed first with Vatel Los Angeles, but most importantly in the United States, is like you can really grow faster, because the management style in the United States is more related to experience, personal experience, I would say, and capability and personal skills, more than, you know, having working in a company for 10 years and then you can grow. So the objective from my side was really to say, okay, I need to grow as fast as possible. I need to learn American management to different myself in case I'm going back to Europe or in Asia whatsoever, because the American management is very famous and working very well, as we can see. So I really learned during this experience about management, leading a team, but in the American way, finance, numbers, accountability, everything, to be completely honest, because in the US compared to France, the hierarchy and the organization is much more multitask, meaning that you can learn much more within one position, because the cost in the hotel is more, in America, is more lean than it is in Europe, to stereotype, obviously depend the company. But yeah, I mean, it's overall my experience in the United States and in Vatel Los Angeles that I had. Hope was clear enough for you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. That's a very valuable testimonial, and I loved every word that you say. It's really what I thought also, and what I see with so many of our alumni. Let's move to Steve now, who is, Steve, you finished the academic program and you are still in Los Angeles doing your OPT, which will you finish at the end of the year, right?
Absolutely. So it's very hard to speak after Andrea. Say most of it. I just want to, before speaking about me, I just want to put an emphasis on the tools. Those 2 years is for you the fact that you can prove yourself into first the courses at the school, but also for the CPT and the OPT. The CPT will open the doors for the OPT, the school open the doors for the CPT, and so on. It's dominoes. And it allows you to prove yourself and to show what you can do. I think I did a bachelor in Vatel, Brussels, and I decided to go for Vatel San Diego. I did it in San Diego, and then I moved in Los Angeles for the OPT. But I did my my CPT in San Diego. So I did my CPT in Fairmont Grand Del Mar, which is a 5-star 5-diamond property. I began as a rural service agent, so I really wanted to be the standardist, responding to the phone and understanding the accent first, because I had a very strong French accent and I couldn't understand well what guests were telling me. So I really wanted to familiarize me with the how guests are speaking here in the US, and it was for me the best way to understand the American hospitality industry. And then I proved myself, and I was promoted as a reservation coordinator of the Fairmont Grand Del Mar. Then in March, coronavirus came. The hotel unfortunately had to close because, as you may know, there were some difficult moments for everyone, for the hotels and for restaurants and all our industry. But hopefully, it opens also other doors. So I went into Los Angeles as an executive butler at the Beverly Terrace, which is a family-owned hotel. And I had the ability to be F&B assistant manager over there, working with the F&B manager, and he was one of the F&B director for the Élysée in France for Nicolas Sarkozy presidency. So I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot also from other managers from the Fairmont. And I think that all those tools that I have gathered for those years now will help me. And I'm sure, and I see Andrea, I see Deepak, I see Hortense, and it inspired me to go at their level as they did with the tools of Vatel.
Mm-hmm. Very well. Thank you for the thumbs up, Deepak. If anyone wants to contact Vatel Los Angeles, have more information about the program, how to join, if you want to get in touch maybe with one of our graduates, I hope, I trust all of you will be also able and willing to answer questions. Contact me directly, n.varovac@vatelusa.com. I will be happy to give you all the information you need and get you, started with the application if you decide to join the program. Let's go full screen. Okay, so we have Leah and Capucine with us. We were expecting more people, but apparently it was difficult to log in. So anyway, thank you for being here. I'd like to know if you have any questions for our graduates.
I didn't know if I want to start or...
Yes, go ahead, Capucine.
Okay, so I would like to know, like we have all of the good points of this master in the USA, but what are the different things that you didn't like during your master degree?
That's a good question. Thank you, Capucine.
Who wants to start?
The weather, it's too hot. You have to go to the beach all the time. It's like... So that's a good question. Is there any downside from your experience in either San Diego and Los Angeles?
I mean, the only thing I would see as a negative point is that basically when the whole program finishes, you need to decide, okay, where am I going next? And a lot of people want to stay here in the US. And that's when it becomes a little complicated, because it's just so many different visas and so many restrictions. But then, I mean, you can always go somewhere else in the world, which would be super nice too. But personally, like I had a little like struggle at this moment. And also maybe the fact that it's really far from France, you really need to take this into consideration, because you're basically going to a different country, and it's not New York, it's like the other side of the country. So it's beautiful, like everywhere in California is beautiful, like it's always sunny. You have so many things to see, and like so many opportunities with work. But it's true that it's just far from your home. So if you can call maybe your family like at least once a week, it's definitely an advice that I would give, just to keep in touch and like not be homesick or anything like that.
Yeah, I think to add on this, Capucine, for your question, I mean, the downside, obviously, it's hard to answer this question because, you know, it's, I would say it could be a bit personal, and I don't have like anything to say though regarding the education of the working experience, because the working experience is your job to find it, to make sure, like, you know, it goes well and to work. And then for the education, I mean, you have good professors that are who have the degree, you know, to teach you the right way, high, I would say, materials. The only thing that I would say is like it's very important to not have the same expectations, you know, you have in France from a school in France as it is in the United States, because the education system and the culture of the education system is completely different. I would say in the US, to be completely honest, grades are important, don't get me wrong. You need to have a good how you call it, GP something.
GPA.
Yeah. But it's not fundamental, you know. I mean, it's important. You have to pass, but it's not out of 20 like it could be in Europe or in France. You know that you need that. This is the most important. What the professor expects from you is like you work, so you need to be independent when you work. For homework, for example, you need to be capable of not, you know, having someone who is gonna recall you and to tell you, oh, you didn't read. This is not good. You know, you need to hurry up. The professor, it doesn't care if you don't do it. The professor doesn't care if you are not motivated. The professor doesn't care if you are not listening, to be completely honest with you. And this is complicated because coming from a European perspective, we are, you know, used to those professors who are like been putting out and say, hey, you don't listen, right? So if you don't feel capable, you know, of not having someone behind your back, you know, and checking on you, being very, I would say, to have like a individual follow-up, even though the professor are here to help. I mean, it might not be for you as well. And this is a downside. I'm not talking for myself because me, I really like this system, but you might say, oh, you know, for example, oh, it's easy, for example, to get good grades because it's out of 5 or out of 100. But if you think this way, I mean, it's because you might miss the concept of the education system. What matters is like you get the information into your brain to apply them on the
Real world.
at your workplace. Sorry. So it just to put in perspective that this is, I think, important from my point of view.
That's a very good point, Andrea. I really like what you're saying because it's true that the professor, it's not that they don't care about you. They just care to give you a good education. But if you're motivated to get the education and to use the education for your future, and you want to put the work in it because you know it's important for you, then they are really here to, you know, to help, and it makes the class very interactive and interesting. But if a student doesn't care about the study and is not willing to work, it's not their problem, you know, it's going to be the student's life. They are not concerned about, you know, you're here to learn, I'm here to teach you. And if you want to get the information or not, that's your problem, that's your life, basically, right?
Yeah, well, I see what you mean. We are quite the same since the beginning of the coronavirus with the home training, so the home working, sorry. So it's quite the same.
You have to be complicated
sometimes, but we have to stay focused on on what the teacher said.
Very true.
Is there another questions?
Yes, it was just one question. So what was your best professional experience in the United States for both of you?
So who wants to answer first?
I can start. So I think, well, I mean, I'm sure actually that the best experience I had was during my 1-year training at the Peninsula Beverly Hills when I went to Los Angeles. It's a very like top-notch hotel. You have all the celebrities going there. It's like in the middle of Beverly Hills. You have Rodeo Drive like 2 minutes away. It's really like the high-end class, like the best you can get in LA. So they really make you work. Like if you're going there as an assistant manager, even if you're like a trainee, they'll give you like so many different missions. And like if they see you're doing well and you're hands-on, they'll definitely give you more responsibilities. But also they will tell you what you do wrong. So they're really looking into the details. And I mean, that's good for your career, right? Because you want to be like perfect. You want to work in like super luxurious hotels. Personally, I would like to be really in the executive hierarchy, executive level in a hotel. And this was just like a brilliant experience for me because it really taught me to push myself. And at some point for me, I was just a little disturbed because I was actually getting married. So I had like all the paperwork and it was during the full season in summer. So my head was a little bit everywhere. Like it was pretty difficult personally. And the management was like seeing this and they were like being pretty tough about it. They were like, oh, so that's what you did wrong. You know, you didn't put the correct initials on the pillow or something like that. But at least they tell you and, you know, they just want you to perform well and you can feel that they want the hotel to perform well. So they're like really going to go 100%, you know, they want you to go above and beyond. So that would definitely be my best experience. Now I work in another hotel in a 5-star and I can see that it's not the same level as the Peninsula because it's more like beachy. It used to be like a luxurious beach club, which I love it too. You know, it's very nice too. But I can definitely take the experience I got from the Peninsula to the hotel I'm working for right now in Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I hear also, Hortense, is that through the program you had access to a position where you had really responsibilities. You were not just like a basic trainee for operation. You had really managerial position, and that's also true for all of the alumni here, and it's mainly true for most of the students here as well throughout the programs and through the years. The rigor that you've learned during this internship really serves you for the rest of your career. Mm-hmm. They say at the Peninsula Beverly Hills, we are working with the Peninsula Beverly Hills since 2008, since we opened the school. And I have a really good relationship with the HR director. She say, if you can make it in, even within the Peninsula group, they say, if you can make it at Peninsula Beverly Hills, you can make it everywhere because it's so tough and it's so high-end clientele there and celebrities, it's very difficult. Who else would like to talk about their best experience?
I think what I would like to add about the really, benefits of Vatel USA, if I may say, it's that in France, when you do your master degree, you will do you will do a training, meaning like you will be management training for 6 months during one summer. I'm not talking about money or whatsoever, but the reality is in the United States, the management will not see you as a trainee. You will be hired, you will be paid as you are supposed to be paid. So the normal rate, you have not like 600 euro per month, but money on the side again. It means that on your resume, you are not putting management training. You are putting assistant restaurant manager. you were working there, you were an employee, an associate, you are seen as an associate, and I can talk for everyone because I remember well for everyone was the same. So you are earning time as well. Because me, for example, after in Santa Monica, my sponsorship was denied, my GM transferred me straight away to London at the JW Marriott. So just to understand, it allows you as well to jump into the world, you know, faster. So I think this is very important. I think the best experience, for my best experience, Leah, was in Santa Monica, sorry, not Grosvenor House, I'm mixing now, Le Merigo in Santa Monica. But I think it's what you really need to think is which experience I need for the next step after Los Angeles. This is what is the most important, the key thing to stop flying. Sorry.
No, that's really good. Thank you, Andrea. It's true that I like when you say, you know, you need to get something to get to the next step. And that's really what we are trying to do here is especially through the 1 year OPT, this 1 year professional experience where the students have time to really grow and get managerial position, and that will prepare them for their next step. And in some cases like you, the general managers or the HR director will help the students to actually transfer to another hotel outside of the USA.
Which is really amazing, because I realized that compared to Belgium, France, I'm coming from Belgium, but compared to Belgium, managers in Belgium, it's more difficult to approach them. It's more difficult to speak to them. The manager that I had, from my experience, the manager that I had in the Fairmont, I could go speak to him for an hour. He would put all his phone on mute for an hour just speaking to me. So they take time, they listen a lot. They won't answer. Maybe they won't answer in the whole hour. They won't answer. They will just listen to you. When you are finished, they will give you an answer or no. But the thing is that they are open to the discussion. They are open to see that people want something, that people want to learn. They want to gather knowledge. They want to gather in a new position. They want an evolution. And I think that here in the US, the managers really like that. And I mean, if you go for Vatel USA and you show all what you want, and you show that you want an evolution, this will pay into the CPT, OPT, or even after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point. Thank you for sharing, Steve. It's true that, you know, for a hotel, you have to keep in mind, at least for the American management style, that their interest is really to give someone the task and the position that they will be the best at. So if they can listen to someone and see where they will be really good at, it will be beneficial for the hotel as well. So that's why, you know, they are always very open to listen to our graduates or their employees in general, to make it a win-win for everyone.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Also, honestly, like the pay is very good. Like if you go in a luxury hotel in LA, I mean, even San Diego, I'm not sure because I was only working in a 3 stars a night audit. So it was my first experience there. But as soon as I moved to Los Angeles, like the pay was amazing. Like I couldn't believe I was making as much. Like literally, I have big brothers and sisters back home. I have big cousins back home, and like they were all blown away. They couldn't believe the amount I was doing. So this is really like, it pays off from all your work you've done from school and all the experience, because like, let's be true, luxury hotel business is not always easy. You have like difficult hours. You always work during vacation. Like it's, you work when everyone else is on holiday, but at the end, like here, it really pays off, you know, like I really appreciate that part. And also in some hotels, you get very nice incentives. So like it keeps you motivated the whole time. And finally, I mean, Natalie always helped me a lot. Like like always the coordinators and the directors from Vatel School, they always helped us to give us leads for hotels. They always give us the contacts and make sure that we have everything like paperwork wise, or like for the interviews, they make sure that we're like staying on top of it. Like if needed, I remember Natalie literally giving me a training for my interview before going to the real interview at the Peninsula. That's how to tell you, like here it's they really consider you, and they'll go like 100% for you. And even after Vatel program, like Natalie helped me finding another job because I couldn't work for a certain amount of time because I was waiting for my first visa after my school was done. And Natalie was here to help me out and like to share me contacts and refer me. And even your professors at school, like if you have a favorite professor like that you really enjoyed the classes with, you can really count on them and have them like write you reference letters. So just like you can feel a lot of support. Like yes, you're paying your amount and you're paying your rent. Like the first like 2 years you're in California, it gets a little expensive, but then like it really pays off, and you have a lot of support. I think like everyone in Vatel can agree with me on that.
Thank you, Hortense. I have goosebumps right now.
It's true.
So, I mean, it's still a small program. You know, we don't have hundreds of students, and every student is important, and we want to support each of you. You know, each success is a win-win for everyone. A successful student is a win for them, of course. It's a win for the school because we are so proud, and we can have alumni like you today to give that testimonial. And it's a win for the hotel because they love working with the Vatel students because they know how involved and professional and eager to learn they are, you know. So it's a win-win for everyone, and it's a big win for me because, you know, I love my job doing that. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Captain.
How do we get OPT or CPT? Is it the school that just help us to or guide us in some hotels, or we have to find it on our own?
It's okay. So let me explain. First, the CPT. It's the part-time internship that is linked to some of the courses the students have the first year. And so on paper, the school is not officially responsible for finding the internship for the students, but we have many contacts and hotels and restaurants that are asking for students. So yes, we do give our contacts. And what I did in the last year also is I brought HR directors or GMs of hotels on campus so they can present their hotel, talk about the opportunities they have. We also visited hotels in San Diego, at the Fairmont, at the Rancho Bernardo Inn, at the other hotels you went to, Hortense, I remember. And so we bring the students on site and they can connect with the HR and directors there. So yes, we do help our students. And then for the OPT, it's an application that the students do usually 90 days before the end of the academic program, because it takes about 90 days for USCIS to process the work authorization for international students. And through that period, yes, we closely work with the students. Some students actually may prefer to find their own internship because they have something very precise in mind or a specific location where I may not have contacts there. And they, you know, so the student is free to do their own research, but we are here also to actually post open positions. We are using HOSCO, and I connect the students with the employers. I also, rehearse interviews with the students, or schedule interviews directly with the employer. We try to make it really as easy as possible for the students to get connected to the best hotels. Some hotels also really work with us on a regular basis. So I know they have certain positions open every year. Like at the Peninsula, I know every year they would have 1 or 2 management positions for the F&B and 1 or 2 management positions for the rooms division and front office, guest relations, things like that. I have other hotel, in Miami, with the SETI, or in New York. So we know we have this position open, and then I'm actually really looking for students who will be able to fill these positions and who will have the background and the professionalism to fill these positions. But at the end of the day, it's an interaction with the students and us. And yes, we help the students find the best position possible.
Yeah, I think, Capucine, you don't need to worry at all about, finding the CPT, OPT. I mean, as a student, it was the hardest part is more what you are going to choose and why you want to choose this property than is there something for me available, because it's kind of easy, I would say, to find, but you need to really find what you want. That's, personally, but it's easy. The market is much more open. I would say, again, it's much easier to hire people, and it's much easier to fire at the same time. So obviously, it's making the process, faster. But it was kind of easy to choose. Was hard. I know, I choose one internship. OPT for the World of Astoria, and at the middle of the process, I said, "Oh, maybe I would say I would like something else."
Yeah, I know.
Natalie was not the happiest person.
I was mad about that. I remember you were hired at the World of Astoria for the openings, and then you chose to go with the Marriott because it was an even better position for you.
Yes, of course.
No resentment. Everything's good, and I'm so happy you are where you are right now. So. Do you want to tell us where you are actually right now? I know you're working for a great hotel in London. Do you want to tell us about what happened after the program?
Oh yeah, after the program, so I had to go back to Europe. I decided to go to London because the general manager of JW Marriott Santa Monica, to be honest, tried to contact all the JW Marriott around the world, from China to everywhere, to be completely honest. And we just realized, because visa is what actually makes you obstacles in front of you. You think you can go anywhere, but the reality is you need papers, and the papers, getting the job is easier than getting the papers, to be honest. So I decided to go to London, transferred to JW Marriott's Grosvenor House in London, which is a massive 5-star property, so 497 rooms in Mayfair, which is like the Champs-Élysées of Paris, you can imagine. So I was head of department over there, taking care of in-room dining, executive lounge, and all the mini bars. For a year and a half. Then they sent me as well to do the opening for JW Marriott Istanbul on task force in Turkey. So I had this opportunity to travel a bit, and then COVID-19 obviously came over, and my previous boss at Grosvenor House had the opportunity to be the hotel manager of Pan Pacific London, that I would invite you to check the website, and if you come to London, to visit us, which is going to open in 2021. It's a Singaporean hotel chain that I've been hired as a restaurant general manager, so to take care of the entire main restaurant of the hotel, plus the boutique of the hotel as well. So that's opening soon.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
And do you think you would have been able to have this kind of positions if you have stayed at Vatel France, for example?
No. The true key really is Vatel Los Angeles. And I'm not saying that again to say everything is perfect. I'm truly saying because it gave me the opportunity to grow faster and to have a culture that think you are capable of doing things, even though you are 23, 24, 25, or 26 years old. So I was the youngest HOD, head of department, because in Europe, it's different. I was the youngest HOD ever at Grosvenor House, London. I was, when I came here, I was 27, and I was head of department for a department with the pyramid of age of 40 years old. But this is because of the United States, and the general manager said, oh, this gentleman, he was having this position in Santa Monica, so why not he can do it in London, right? So otherwise it would have never happened. So if I'm here right now, obviously it's personal, you know, it's if you don't work and you don't put, you know, the work on the table, is not going to happen. Anything is not going to happen. But if you work hard, you know, and prove yourself, you can make big difference for your future, which is what I believe.
And how was the study? Was it difficult to adapt with the education that you received at Vatel Los Angeles? Was the courses difficult for you? Was it difficult? Did you encounter any difficulties to adapt or do the work?
To be honest, the work is not the work was hard at the beginning, was more the language, because I was not, I would say, fluent in English. I was, you know, okay, I could understand well and so on, but I'm not as good as I would like. And I know this is a kind of fear for you guys who are playing for Vatel Los Angeles. No worries, you know, like just stay like I did with Deepak, an Indian, with the Indian accent, and you are good to go. But no, the language at the beginning, and I would say as well the reading. It's a lot of books to read. And yeah, as I said to Capucine for a question, it's more like, wow, no one is asking me to do things. So, you know, like usually people are checking on you, and it's not the case. It's not happening anymore. So I think for me, that's why I said that to Capucine. It was kind of hard to have this transition, because I said, okay, I always thought that I'm working for myself and learning for myself. But you know, it's good sometimes when you drank a bit too much the previous day, and you say, oh, I cannot do the homework, that you have your professor tell you this is not good. You know, you are going to have problems if it's happening again. Yeah. So
I mean, I would say like the professor, like they will definitely notice you if you do a good job though. Like if they like your job, if they like whatever project you gave them back, they will definitely let you know, and they will encourage you to like do like that all the time, or participate more in class, and then they'll have your back for any like for any job you need. And if the teacher likes your work in class, they'll definitely have your back.
Not very true. I mean, if they like you, I mean, if they like you, sorry, I would say if you do the job as Horton said, they will. It's another relationship. I don't know if you agree, Horton and Deepak, but they can laugh, she can drink with you. You know, like you can go to a bar with the professor. They treat you, you know, as a student in a master degree. You know, like education. So the interaction is different as well.
Yeah. I wanted to say that Steve just let me know that he has to leave. He has a meeting for work, actually, so we don't want to. Thank you so much, Steve. Do you want to say something before you're leaving?
As everyone said, everything is already amazing. All what you said. So thank you very much for inviting me for the meeting. And I stay available for any question by LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Take care, Steve. Thank you. All the best. Be safe and healthy.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. Okay, so here we are. Sorry, I had to interrupt. Deepak, you were saying something? No.
No, I couldn't add anything more. Horton and Andrea, Steve, and Natalie yourself, you have given all the information, which, and I'm glad that such session is available for our upcoming graduates. I know that I was not a part of any such session when I was taking an admission. So when I see something like this happening for the future students, it's amazing. You know, actually what's in front of you. You are able to speak to people and as to where they have reached. And what are the possibilities which you could get from a professional course from Vatel? So the only thing I would say is just go for it, and you won't regret it. That's for sure.
Thank you. Capucine and Leah, do you have other questions for our graduates? I will. So it has been really great. Thank you so much for Deepak, Andrea, Hortense, and for our viewers. I'm sad that apparently other people have had difficulties joining the call, but this session is recorded, so I will be able to share it. And thank you so much for sharing your experience at Vatel USA. I hope you know we're gonna have other opportunities to join again. And again, if someone wants to join the program and contact me, n.virovac@vatelusa.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You can also find our graduates on LinkedIn as well and connect with them. And we look forward to seeing you in California. Thank you so much. It was absolute pleasure for me. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Good to
Natalie.
see you,
Thank
Leah.
you. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
All the best.
Bye, Hortense. Bye, Deepak.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Take care. Take
Bye,
care.
Natalie. Thank
Thank
you.
Also.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.